I was a former Coke user. I said to myself I wouldn't use again and again and again. And just like other millions of other addicts out there, they said with good intention that this will be their last time. Until it wasn't. And today I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why cocaine is so addictive and why willpower may not just be enough. I'm Gary, a best-selling author, ex-addict, and also an addiction therapist who's helped several dozen people get over their addiction. With that being said, in this episode, I'm going to share with you the famous metaphor of your iceberg. 10% above the surface, 90% below the surface. The first one we're going to cover, let's jump right into it now. So for the first one, I want to play a game. It's your associations. If I show you clips like this, or clips like this, or even people like this you may know, I wonder what the undertone of what you think about this substance is. What's the undertone? Because to me it's cool, it's glamorous, it's glitz, it's glam, it's craziness, it's wow, it's party and it's fun. Right, that's to me with those associations. But let me show you these associations. Have a look at this first clip. And then there's a documentary, Gordon Ramsay on cocaine, where he shows what it's made of. Look at this.
A complicated process which involves many chemicals. First, he adds cement to the chopped up coca leaves.
And then Gordon Ramsay shows what it's made of, this substance.
This mixture is put into a barrel and doused in gasoline. This is then left to marinate to draw the cocaine from the leaf.
And lastly, the cost of it. I've run several studies where I'm showing hundreds of people how much they spend on average per week. The average is over 240 euros per week. That is an insane amount. When we look at someone famous, they can rich, glamour, pay for it. But us, unfortunately, the average person in debt to their dealer. That's sad. That's sad, sad, sad. The average person is in debt to their dealer. Next is your environments and social pressure. There's a famous study called Rat Park. If you haven't heard of it, get ready, because this is insane. First of all, the researchers set up a cage. A rat was dropped inside, and then they were both inserted with 2 bottled waters. One was laced with cocaine, one was just water. What do you think the rat did in that environment? Well, you'd probably be right. He did, in fact, go to that laced cocaine water all of the time. Kind of like me when I was an addict. But the challenge with that study, and someone came to find, that this rat was trapped up in a box. He hadn't got any room for growth. He didn't want to have any social life. He didn't have any extra things to do. So of course, if I was trapped in a cage, you trap me in the middle of Colombia, I'm probably going to do it. Unlimited cocaine was on supply for him, so yes, he did it, and he just sucked on that laced water and he overdosed. It's devastating, absolutely. But why? Some researcher later on came back and said, well, this study actually doesn't help. Why? Because this rat is locked in a cage. He has no environment, no growth, no social activity. He is just here, so of course he's going to go for that water. Honestly, if you locked me up in the middle of Colombia, I might go back to the substances. I don't think so, but I might. Next, what that researcher did is change the environment. He changed it to where this rat had this other group, right? He had more social environments. He had a spinning running wheel. He had a little maze. He was chasing. He almost had sat down with his PlayStation set up there. He was sitting down watching Xbox or I don't know what he was doing. But I tell you, he had much more growth. And what happened? From time to time, not as an addiction, not as always consumption to overdose, they would very irregularly go to that old substance water compared to normal water. They very much more enjoy the normal water than the laced water. It's a fascinating study showing your environment, how it dictates your actions. The next level is this element of genetics. Studies show that 40 to 60% of people are more likely to use if people have used it in your families. For me, that was the case. My dad, my family, and extended people in my family have used and are even actively using. And I'm not saying that thinking that we're gracious gods and we're the best. I know that's happening, unfortunately, in every single pub. In all of the countries, there is substances being used. So all of those people in there have families and connections. It's a very normal thing. For me, I heard one night this story of my dad where there was an argument going on between my mum and my dad. And then boom, they said, well, you're just out of it. You're telling your kids that you're going to... Now that was about 14, 15. My dad passed away a year or two later after that. And that was actually crazy. That was insane. Why? Because I started rationalizing that. Well, if he did, it's actually okay if I do. Right? How does that make any sense? Right? It doesn't make any sense, but obviously makes sense. So I started thinking, that's normal. So if that's normal, my friends are doing it, my environment is doing it, I'm going to the location where we're doing it, well then of course I'm going to start going, you know what, I think I might start doing this. So the people inside of your life, if they are using it, drastically increases the likelihood that you're going to use. That is devastating but real. Look at the statistics. The next level is something that's so fascinating, I find it very deeply disturbing. The number one reason why someone relapses in my book is their friend group. The social group that they have and social environment is something, I swear to God, that it is unbelievably complex. The study's shown that even if your friend's friend is obese, that increases your likelihood of being obese. That also shows that this unconscious factor that I like to talk about is genuinely the most interesting thing. Now this is a bit deep, meaning you don't understand or see the context of what's playing under the surface, under the iceberg with your friend. You don't understand, I don't understand the complexity that's happening. This is a person you love, you care for, you want to spend time with. This is someone you enjoy spending time with. This is all the things for why I like this person, this personality, this trait, everything under the surface. Personalities, under traits, confidence, shyness, quirkiness, all of those things are under the surface that you like about your friend. But that is in the reason of why it's the number one reason why people relapse in my book, is their friend group. It is these unseen factors that we don't understand the influence that they have on us. This is literally the person that's most likely to hold the key to our nose. This is literally the person that's most likely to hold the coin to our nose, the bank card to our nose. This is it. This is the person that's stabbing us right in our nose, in our back, and we can't see it or we don't want to see it. It's devastating to think that this person we might have to leave, change, have a serious chat with, but this is what it takes. You do need to have a serious chat with this person because this person does care for you. He's doing it with good intention. She's doing it with good intention. But we need to change it. We cannot have this one person dictating our life, which they will, because we care for them so much. So please be very careful with this area of your life. The last element is your brain chemistry. I'm going to give you an analogy. Imagine you in your house had a fire alarm that just went beep, 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 beep. And you walked over the fire alarm, you go, hey look, fire alarm, it's only bread, it's only toast, you don't need to, do the old beep, beep, beep stuff, you just need to calm down a little bit. Yeah, the problem with that would be that the fire alarm doesn't care. It doesn't know. It's just programmed to go beep, beep, beep every time it has smoke in it. Now, that is what we're doing, unfortunately. We're going, hey, I actually don't want to use this thing, but in the background, cocaine has completely rewired your brain. What do I mean? Well, if I show you videos of the positive things like I showed you earlier, your brain would probably fire up if you're an addict and you're using. Your brain, parties, strobe lights, smoke, parties, festivals, camping tents, all of these things, you probably go, your brain is, if I hooked you up to an EEG scanner, I believe, your brain will be firing. Now, alternatively, if I showed you nature, I showed you a couple walking down the road, yeah, your brain's going, oh, that's okay. But as soon as we show strobe lights flashing, the brain takes off and it's just like, yes, this is it, I need it. But that in itself is the problem. So unfortunately, cocaine has rewired our brain and we need to rewire it again. If you want to find out how to stop the addiction, check the video up here in the card section. This video is just to explain how and why it is addictive. Your brain is completely rewired for this program. Cocaine increases your dopamine levels by 300%. Having sex is 100%, eating chocolate is by 50%. This thing is completely destroying your insides and you can't see it. This is why it's at the bottom of the iceberg. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you.